أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. له ملك السماوات والأرض يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. والحول والحكر والظاهر والباطن وهو على بكل شيء عليم. صدق الله العظيم. Our main objective today is to advise our brothers and sisters not to commit cybercrime. Why? Because it is very easy for the people who are in authority through the security agencies to apprehend anyone who is involved in cybercrime. It is too easy. However, before we go into the main objective of today, I would like us to glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has spared our life up to today. As we get ready for Ramadan. Ramadan, it commences, I think, April 15th. So we hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant us the opportunity to witness the Ramadan and many more. Ameen, inshallah. So we'll read from the Quran so that the Quran is not, so that we don't distort anything, so that we can get it right. Bismillah.
سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون.
That was from Surah Yasin, verse 36, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala glorifies himself. He also called our attention that things are created in pairs. Whatever the heart grows, human being themselves. And at the end of it, it says, Ma la ya'lamun, and so many other things in which we do not know, that is beyond our comprehension. And you all agree with me that Al-Quran Kareem is a solution. If you look at this verse very well, we can deduce some certain information from it. Although I've just told you the literary meaning, but most of the messages from God, they are hidden messages if you look deeply. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned male and female, assuming, say, female, male. Let's say positive and negative. Positive for male and negative for female. What happens at the end of the day, whether a human being, a plant, when you are in existence, when you're living, is one. At a appointed time, what happens? So we have positive, negative. We also have 1 and 0. It is my hope that those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed with the knowledge of the Quran, they should help us to bring out from the Quran uh, newer technologies, things that could help in medicine, mechanized farming, and all walks of life. It is there. So, here, you agree with me that mankind, nobody has ever designed anything new other than getting a sample from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanaka alikuna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates or created everything. So that implies several other technology that will still come into play, into existence, is here. All we need to do is to be disciplined, be focused, and work harder. That's all mankind needs to do. Everything we need to make life better is contained here. All we need to do is just to make effort. So we'll clean this and we'll go to the second segment. However, we shall be making use of positive, negative, 1 and 0 in the next segment. How can we title this? Some times ago, I had on TV that some people were apprehended in Ogbomosho. I think 3 of them were members of the NYC, 19 undergraduates. So I was bothered. I said, why? What have they done wrong? Cybercrime. Okay. How do we title this second segment, this presentation? Maybe we should say Yahoo Boys. Do not get yourself involved in cybercrime. It's too easy to apprehend you. Too easy. All right. You will recall when we were in school, we were taught 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is 0. Or another not to confuse people, let's say 10. But we don't really need 10. And let's put 0 here. We were also taught A, B, C, D. Up to that, up to Z. This is This is what those who are in authority, the CID, the security personnel, this is what they use in arresting Yahoo boys. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D to Z. Okay. As I was watching the news regarding the arrest, the reporter mentioned that in their hideout, okay, how can you be located? How can one be located? Okay, let's claim this. How can they know your location that such thing is going on there? Or have an idea that some group of people are misusing, abusing their privileges. It's just to the internet. Yeah, it's been abused. And the abuse is causing pain on some other people. How do they know? Maybe, let's say they're not informed, or how are they able to know? So we need something that could help us to track the team or maybe an individual. So we do like this. You remember while we were in school, we can call this place North. We can call this place South. We can call this place, let's say, West and East. Right? If I say 1 centimeter represents 1 unit, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is -1, -2, -3, -4. This is -1, -2, -3, -4, and like that. -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay. Now this is positive axis. So this is positive. Let's click this. This is positive. You can go on and on. We have a scale. Our scale is 1 cm to 1 unit. So what is our increment? Our increment is 1. You can see it's in sequence. Okay. Now, you remember I used to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 10, and some boxes on the graph. So, if you say, or if we want to assume, we say this is down south. We say this is Lagos. we say maybe assumption. So this is uh, Enugu location. It's Kano. Uh, say maybe Benue. Um, what is left now? So if you are here with the help of the GPS, I can locate you, and you will actually be reporting yourself because of your phone. Your carrier can know where you are at any time. So, in order to put life into this, to make it dynamic, you recall also at the very early age when you say you have X, Y, A, B. You agree with me that the total angle here will give you 360 degrees, right? Okay. Then you have what? We have 24 hours in a day. So that should give us 15 degrees per hour. What are we trying to do? We are trying to further tag every space here. But anywhere you move to, you are seen, can be dictated, you can be located anywhere you move to here. And we have also made it dynamic. This is elementary maths. This is just basic graph. Okay. This is clear to you now that anywhere you are trying to use the internet, you can be easily identified. Okay. This helps us to handle the location. Okay, let's clean this. Let's clean this. The third segment of the presentation. Let's see. We need to know some ISPs, internet service provider in Nigeria. Let me look them up. The ISPs, the major ISPs in Nigeria, where you subscribe. Okay. Let's say major ISP in Nigeria. Okay, top 10 ISP in Nigeria. Top 10. This is actually even helping us. Okay. It says here it says SpectraNet, Tizite, IPNX, Cobranet Limited. Um, I think I've used IPNX. I think they are good. Let's use IPNX. I think they have a location in they have point of presence in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Abuja. Let's use them. Yeah, of course, you can also use Glow, Vodacom, Iperia, main one. But let's just use for this presentation. Let's use IPNS because I've used them before. So we use ISP, and we are using um, IPNX. Um, okay, if you walk into IPNX to subscribe for internet uh, to be used for uh, by individual or business for enterprise solution or what have you, depending on what you can afford. IPNS probably have a solution. Let's call that solution slash 28. As you walk into IPNS, this is what you are going to buy. You want a bandwidth, you want a very fast speed, this is what you are buying. Right? So IPNS, I've bought this from a provider, another provider, maybe they are based in Europe or Asia or United States, anywhere. They will go further to do what is called subnetting, so that they can partition this address and sell to you. If you look at this very well, this value can be subdivided into multiple networks. How do you go about this? You, of course, know that IP4, IP version 4, that's what we'll be using. What does it say? It says there are 1, 2, 3, 4 octets. Each of these octets has 8 bits. They could be off or they could be on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What do we have? We have 24. Now we want 28. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 0, 0, 0, 0. So that this octet could be complete. We have 8 bits. What are bits? Bits are 0 and 1. 0 and 1. These are bits. Okay. You may not, this may not make sense to you, but I'm sure if I change this value to 255, 255, 255 dot what value would this give us? I think this should give us 240. We'll work it out. We'll work this out. So from this, this is called CIDR, classless interdomain routing, CIDR. Right? You don't really need to bother about this, but I want you to bother about the 1 and the zeros. We're not going to go too much into using technical terms because our interest is to communicate to everybody. But we still have to mention the basics, basic points. Okay, now you remember that those days in school, if I say x to the power of 0 is 1, if I say y to the power of 0 is 1, isn't it? Do you agree with me? Okay, so I can express this. I can say let me move this backward. Let me move this backward. Start 28. I can say here 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And at the same time, if you sum this up, you have 255. Okay. The interest of any business is to make profit. IPNS has bought a chunk of a chunk of bandwidth, of course, with IP addresses from their provider, and they need to sell. They have to make sales, they have to keep business running. So they will need to do some planning and management of their resources so that they can have full benefit of their profit of their investment. So at this level now, this bandwidth is still being managed by IPNS. So we need to now divide this. Here, if you look at these numbers here, this number, if you link these numbers to this number, you can have value of each the place value of this bit, you can have it if you match this bit, which is 8, and this bit also in 8. So the binary notation of this, if you relate it to the decimal, you can have actually the true value of this bit. Now for this we have 1. I told you earlier that x to the power 0 is 1. For this we have 2 to the power is 1, right? For this we have, assuming this is on, we have 4, right? 1, 2, 3 is done. So this is, we have 16. This is 1, 2, 2 to the power 2 is 4, and we have here sorry, we have here, this should give us 8. 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 3 is 8. This will give us 8. So we have here, if you sum this one up, this one should give us 12, 14, 15. So now the magic number. We've used this, and this. So the first number here corresponds to what? 2 to the power 4, which is 16. Right? 16. Okay. That means we can have, from this /28 that IPNS has bought, we can have 0, we can have 16, we can have 32, we could also have 48. Of course, instead of rewriting this, so let's represent it by x. So we say this is x, x, x. 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 Right? Okay. So this has been followed. When you look at the 48, and then we could have more. We can go, I think a little more. We could have a little more. But let's stop at the fourth block. And how do you identify this? This should be like net ID, right? Okay. There's no magic here. I wrote 240 here. There's no magic. It's this one will give you 128. This will give you 64. This will give you 32, and this should give you 16. Of course, we've used that. If you had this, you should get 240. Okay. Now, how do you now find the range that IPNS we give to you as part of your package when you subscribe with them? It's not just IPNX. Maybe to be unfair, when we say IPNS, let's just say um, internet service provider, ISP. Let's say ISP. Any ISP will do this. Internet service provider, which is of course the popularly known as the ISP. Um, of course, this value will be in a public IP. This is private IP. This will be a public IP because the private IP is not routable. It's used within the local network, offices, residential, and of course, like I said earlier, it could be enterprise solution. Uh, I mean, it could be used uh, without limit, uh, without limit to geographical location. Actually, is the internet. The public IP address is the internet. So uh, I'm using the private IP because that is what you really have to concern yourself about. Although maybe they can give you one or two public IP because it's rare, and the processing of the partitioning of the subnetting of the network is the same. Whether we write the public IP or the private IP, it's still the same. They will go through the same processing. You understand? But that maybe they might use 254 as a subnet so that you just have two IP addresses. Of course, maybe one for voice, data, and the rest of it. Um, so we've discussed this, how we came about the 240. That's it. So now, what is important to me is how do you get to the internet? How do you um, your machines? What are the possible hosts? The IP address you use at home or on your phone, anywhere, it's here. If you look at this place, we added here, we got 15, we have 16, that's 31. That means we can say 31 here, and we can say here 17 to 30 for this. This is the number of the possible host. This is the range. That you will be using to connect to your local area network, then to the modem given to you by the ISP. That will of course talk to the public IP, and that gets you onto the internet. Okay, then what we have here, this we have 1 to 15 plus 0. That should give us 15, so 14. Similarly, we can have here 33 to, if you had this 32 plus 31, that is 63. That's the broadcast. So that will of course help us to define the range. So that is 62. I think that's fine because we're only going to use one. The ISP will give you one of this block along with the public IP. Okay, so this will be the broadcast. Okay, so now we have this. What we need to do now is, let's take one of these, assume a number, and let's use it at home. Connect our phone, our computers, uh, kids' laptop, and what have you within the house. So maybe we should clean this up and now use just this to set up the computers. Um, yeah, I think this can go. Yeah, can clean this up. We need just one. Can clean this as well. We don't need it. We can clean all. We can clean all this. We don't need it. You just need only one. Now we want to use what we have bought. Okay. Um, we can also clean this. So we're using this. So let's bring this out. So we have, normally the common one is 192, 168. This we have 1, then 0, right? You recall what we had earlier. So we can go and say now 255, 255, 255, 240. Don't forget, I think we had our range to be from 1 to 14. We can have up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 computers to connect. Okay. So this is our IP address on one of our computers at home, and this is the subnet mask. Right? We have oh, sorry, this is a network address. It can this is where we're going to be, although we don't route, this is where, this is what we're going to use for the gateway. We can't use this, none of the computers at home will use this. So we say 192.168.1. The first computer will take what? We can never be 0. This will be the gateway, and our first computer will take 1. So this is connected now. So this is the gateway. Gateway address. Okay, of course. The DNS, or maybe we'll say the DHCP, and the DNS. The DHCP and the DNS. We can use this. We can use this for everything. It depends on our configuration. Let's use this for everything. The same machine that is doing the DNS, that is doing, you can use this again. We can also add the common DNS, which is from Google. Right? All this will allow your PC or any device that is designed to make use of IP address internet protocol to work with what you're trying to access, be it data, voice, or video. All this information is very, very important. Now, the key. If you have we have only used one out of the 14 possible IP addresses given to us by the internet service provider. So our TV can still be connected, our phone, voice over IP phone can still be connected. Everybody in the house can of course connect, whether you're using the wireless or a static IP or DHCP. This is it. You can make 14 possible connection at the same time. 14 devices can be on. Although this can also be maybe further expanded. You can match this, but that is beyond the scope of this discussion. But let's just assume that 14 machines can connect, different machines with different function. Okay, now, like I said earlier in the report, the news, they said 3 NYSC and 19 undergraduate were caught in Ogbomoso. They were involved in internet crime. Undergraduate, 3 NYSC. Okay. How were they caught? Through this. Everything you have to do, everything, whether you are using your phone, you are using your computer, you are using anything you are using, as long as you are connected to this provider, all the traffic, whether you are 10 of you or 20 of you or 40 of you using the same internet, you are routing your traffic through the gateway, through here. Your traffic is passing through here. Everybody. Even if you have separate provider, if this 19 people and 3 NYS, yeah, it's still the same thing. Everything you are doing is passing through the gateway. It goes from your whole local area network to the ISP public IP address. Resolution happens and you get onto the internet. So the ISP will have what is called a utilization graph where they look at traffic. So they see a set of unusual traffic coming from Ogbomoso in one remote area, and you are overutilizing the bandwidth. Don't forget our graph, which of course, if we fold the graph, that graph can become a map. So that graph could become something like this. I hope you remember. We don't have to go into too much of mathematics, but that graph, if you fold it, can give you this. So they can know your position, and of course, the ISP that give you this, that give you the internet connectivity, can also they also see what you are doing. So there's no way out. What is the way out? Do not get involved in cybercrime. That's the only way out. To apprehend someone is too easy because the GPS will give you out. In fact, um, apart from even this, apart from even this, where's my phone? If you have a phone, your phone connects to your provider, to the GPS, so they can easily track you. There is no this phone can be connected to, and we can actually be viewed on a massive, on a wide screen, seeing what you are doing every day. And you can be reporting your phone. You can be reporting yourself every day through your phone. They don't have to come to you. You once you get yourself involved in this, you will be reporting yourself on a daily basis. They won't come to you. They will sit back and watch and see how far you can use the internet. They can give you a year, second year, third year. If you have finished exhausting your technology, your knowledge, they close you up. But the first strike, you are seen because all your traffic is going through the gateway, and of course to the public address gateway of your provider. Because you are using a private IP, they will use public IP because public IP is what is routable on the internet. It's actually the internet because you'll be able to resolve IP addresses. So, in summary, what have we said in summary? Let's clean up this. We can say, we can conclude by saying number one, uh, we glorified Allah. We reference and higher. Maybe this can be 1B in Surah to Yasin. I think that should be Quran 36, verse 36. We went further to tell you the meaning of the surah, and we went further to tell you that no human being has ever designed anything. All this technology that you see, those who are blessed, who that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given knowledge, they have seen a sample before any design was made. Look at bird. They came up with aircraft, robot, a shape of human, and many other things. And we reference in that same surah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also there's still so many other technology that is hidden that as things unfolds, we're still going to see more development that's going to be very useful to humanity. So we went further to inform you that Ramadan will commence for this year, 14th of April 2021. And the major objective of the presentation, we try to discourage the heart of cybercrime. Don't do it. Do not get yourself involved in cybercrime. Do not get yourself involved in cyber crime. Why? Because it is too easy to get the person arrested and apprehended. Too easy. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wassalamu ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.